Welcome back to Arkansas Bigfoot, everybody. Great to see you out here today. We've got a bucket full of goodies for the big guys, and we're going to try to follow up on the Gauss meter and check out some different stuff today. Wanted to try to find a random spot out here where the activity might not be as intense as, say, around that stump or some of the other places out here. Yeah, a year ago we came out with the EMF meter and we were getting hot spots and spikes all over the place. And one of the things about this set of woods is it's hard to find an area that there's not an X or arches or some kind of glyphs or something within 30 yards of anywhere. Right over here I've got a group of arches. And right up that little trail, there's an X marking and kind of blocking the trail. And that's pretty much the way it is all throughout all of this. But we're going to go ahead and set this up like we had it the other day by the stump and the other night, using the same camera. Got the Gauss meter, the radar, and the EMF detector. And we're going to let that run while we take our walk today and fill up these trees. And
we've been seeing activity, so hopefully they'll brush back by it and show you the same.
Now what I expect to see is some activity on here. What I'll be surprised to see is if it's as intense as some of those other hot spots. But, you know, it was showing up on the grid, and the EMF detector was going all the way to the right on the lights a little bit earlier when we set it all up. So
we had a large red dot in the bottom left quadrant, and then within, I don't know, half a minute or less, the lights spiked and the RF detector went to 3900 and something. And it was just that quick. So keep your eye out. We never know.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll see the backside of us walking through the woods as we're heading toward the gifting trees, but kind of keep your eye in the background on this stationary camera. There might be other things moving along here today. We don't know. But like I said, we've got a bucket full of goodies for the big guys, so we're going to get after it.
Yep. It's a hefty bucket too.
Right there is an older X. That one's been here for probably close to a year. And another group of small arches right up ahead of that.
A lot of these showed up, started showing up, I should say, about, we had a few show up fairly fast, and then several that kind of popped up at about 8 months, 6 months.
Right.
And they're just steadily showing up since then.
So I guess the question that a lot of people wonder is, what does all this mean? Well, you know, on the surface it means that there is a readable and measurable energetic field that's coming and going, several actually, through here. Now, can we nail it down and specifically say it's this one or that one or this type of being or that type of being with those instruments? No, we can't. We're kind of putting all of that together with what we already know and what we've already experienced.
We had little blue dots the other night that showed up on the graph, But on the RF, they only registered 100, 200. I kind of felt, couldn't prove it to save my life, but I really felt like those were more elemental energies.
And the microphone will probably pick that up, but there comes the helicopter again.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be a good day without a flyover, would it?
Not at all.
Go off to your right there so we don't have to walk through all that brush.
It's gotten really cold last night. Doesn't seem to affect the big guys much.
Well, they have to enjoy it a lot more when it's cooler and colder
Oh, yeah.
weather. Sounds like that helicopter's coming back for a second look.
And they're probably humored with us with clothes to begin with, but then when we have jackets and gloves, and even if they theoretically know why we have them, it probably amuses them more.
Well, it looks like Junior's been on his drinking cup collection again.
Good, Junior.
Sardine can right here.
Yeah.
That's that. Not sure where that originated from. He's found it and drug it up from somewhere.
I'll get that picked up with. There's a lid to it. Maybe. We don't generally get this style of cup.
No,
But if I were guessing.
That's probably blown out along the highway and he's found it and brought it back here,
Yeah.
crinkling and crunching it.
They love the sound of tin can or aluminum.
Aluminum cans or plastic. I think he crinkles it. It's like a, what is that, ASMR, where you're kind of comforted by the sounds of different things.
It's something different.
Well, we thought we'd try to give them a little different variety today, something not quite the norm. That little bag there has got ranch flavored veggie rings in it. Those are actually really good. And I've got some strawberry licorice, a bag of duck eggs. I don't think we've ever brought corn nuts out to them before. I thought maybe one of them might like that. Got the popcorn, apples, a little donut stick. Down here we've got their sausages, peanut butter, a box of Crunch and Munch. There's their moon pies, a bag of caramel apple chips, and a half a sardine sub right there. Got lettuce, tomato, horseradish, Tabasco, sardines.
What else is there?
I'm sure one of them's gonna like it. Well, if you want to grab the bucket, we'll make our way on around to that other spot. Of course, we can't see what's going on with those meters or anything from our vantage point right now, but it'll be interesting to see once we get back and put it all up onto the computer. Kind of watching the woods back there. Feel like we got a few sets of eyes on us.
When we walked in, I felt like I was seeing the young ones up on the hill. Sometimes they make their way around. especially if they want a good spot for snacks.
Now, the other day after we did that night video, walked back there to the grove to check and see what all that looked like, and they had pretty much 90% of that all cleaned out. There was a little bit of residual stuff laying around, some moon pie bags and things, but for the most part it was gone.
We're glad that they liked it.
It was probably hard to tell by the crunch of the leaves under our feet, but we did have a pretty good rain early yesterday morning. I'm trying to see if I see any kind of foot scuffs or new footprints up in this pine straw, but
we're still figuring out what got picked up by the camera at the structure that Ken had shown in the last video. At first it looked like one, but then we realized it was like two moving.
I had slowed that down to 1%, and when it's running on normal speed it just looks like one blur, but there was two different ones, one trailing, chasing after the other.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they're moving almost,
In perfect sync. It's almost like somebody said 1, 2, 3, go, and they both took off at the same second. I don't know. That's the first time we've had anything like that show up on video that I know about.
And just a guesstimation, this is not going to be exact, but just by the distance of how far out it was, the expanse that they crossed, I would probably guess they were moving every bit of 600 to 700 feet per second. Almost to the point where your eye can't pick it up, but
we barely caught it. And I have no doubt in my mind when things like that show up, it's because they intend for you to see it. There's nothing with the people that is accidental. They're very intentional people. They say what they mean what they say.
it looks like it's kind of been walked on right up through there.
Definitely looking
We haven't
super
been
flat.
back in here since the rain. I was thinking this morning when I woke up, once deer season's over with, I'd really like to go back over and check out that area in the Ouachitas that we had gone to a couple times, and it's been a while since we've been over there.
In fact, it was right after deer season ended last year, or right toward the end of deer season.
Right.
What is that?
I don't know. I can't tell if it's a knot on a tree or...
but we met a female that seemed to have been gathering up scrap or...
You can speak up.
Well, I'm half talking and half watching back there. Apparently I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. This has changed again.
All of that has. Like the tennis
And
ball.
inside the... Huh.
That tennis ball was stuck up in that cavity way up there in the tree for the longest time after
Well,
we brought several of them out here.
Let's make sure that it's not the same. Are they? One that was up there,
It's down on the ground and there's a sausage can right behind it, but no, it sat right there
Sure
for,
did.
I don't know, a couple months or more.
A while.
Standing here looking at that tennis ball and that can, and something caught my eye and went flying across over through that ravine. I'm going to show you something now. We had started using the tree where that tennis ball was at, I don't know what, a month or so ago, because all of the limbs had been knocked down and pushed down from around here, and now they're all starting to come back up again.
And they've got it marked at the bottom with an X, or could be an asterisk, but I definitely see the X from here.
Does that mean they want us to use it again or go back
That's what I'm feeling.
where it was?
Let me ask. Do you prefer the snacks over there? Okay. Yes.
All right.
That was quick.
All right, got that one all put together for them. They're moon pies, peanut butter and apples, sausages, got some black licorice drops, corn nuts, got some duck eggs, a little donut stick, more of those caramel apple chips and veggie rings, crunch and munch, popcorn, and a sardine sandwich. I'd be curious to see, once we get back up there, what kind of activity has shown up on those meters today.
Yeah.
I guess I can go over there and bang on the rocks and see if anybody replies, but now the rocks are just like you left them.
Yeah. I believe so.
I'm not hearing anything right now.
I'll do it one more time, but it's a different time of day too, so.
Guess we better go up there and see if all that equipment's still there.
I hope.
It would be the first time they messed with the stuff.
Okay.
But the thought ran through my head after we didn't get any reply on those rocks that wouldn't be the first time that they've messed with the camera equipment or anything. Probably better get up there and...
Yeah, they may not be back in the back. They may be up here having fun.
See all the way down the creek ditch there by that tree? Peanut butter jar, I think.
Is it?
Well, I'm not real sure from this distance. Or a rapper or something. Moon pie wrapper. Well, that's what I'm feeling, like the youngsters have looped around back behind us today, and they're back over in here somewhere.
Well, at least when we brought it out at the nighttime, particularly, youngsters really like messing around with those lights. So I guess we'll see.
All right, now I gotta figure out where we left it all.
There.
I see it.
Looks like everything's there.
Well, everything's still on, it's still working the way it was supposed to, I think. Be curious to see what it looks like once I can review it on the computer. Well, guys, I appreciate you tagging along today. We'll see what we can find on this, and we'll catch you next time down the trail. Thanks.
Bye-bye.